Welcome back to the F123 driver career here on the ChesnoidPlays YouTube channel. Thank you for your support continually on this and the Football Manager as well. Appreciate that very much indeed. You guys are enjoying continually the alternate content to the FC24 My Player. That will be back, of course, on Monday. If you're watching this on Saturday morning as this goes live on the YouTube channel, I'm live with Creator Series this afternoon at 3 o'clock this afternoon over on Twitch. So do come across and join me. Mexico this weekend, but in this save right now, we are in Spain for a mixed condition race. 81% chance of rain at the beginning of the race, and it's going to very much dry up by the end, 1%. So we'll be on dries probably less than 25% through the race, because everything tends to kind of shift to the left in my experience with the approximate weather forecast. But we'll wait and see how things develop. What hasn't been developing is everything that we've asked our departments to do. I think 6 or 7 items have failed in a row. So we're still waiting for loads of developments to go through. 2 or 3 major, 2 or 3 minor. And hopefully, in the not too distant future, they will. And for Canada, we should probably take a bit of a up the list. I'd love to be close to Aston Martin sooner rather than later. Obviously, the other sides will be, or the teams will be developing themselves at their own rate, but just give me a faster car. I'm so close to a point. I'm sure if my engine didn't blow in Monaco, I would have taken Alex Albon and we would have gotten our first point of the season at Monaco. It just wasn't quite to be. So we'll do what we can here. Obviously, new parts, or newer parts going in. New parts were the ones that failed. Older parts actually staying in for practice, but newer parts will be going in for quali and the race. Fingers crossed we can get our first points of the season here instead. So, fun track, Spain, especially with the new old layout. Watch out for the bump, though. Thank you, Connor, for the 27 months subscribed as well. Let's ride that wave of positivity into, hopefully, a good Grand Prix weekend. Drop the video a like. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on more. Come and follow me on Twitch and watch it all live, and let's crack on. Quick practice into 3, out of 3, and we'll get our resource points. We've put a new ICE in for qualifying and a new gearbox too. So we don't believe that they would have reached the end of the race without faults or risking faults. So I've been forced to change those 2 parts really ahead of time, but that now means I have 2 practice gearboxes and ICEs, and just the one go-to race gearbox and ICE again. Quali's fully dry, so we'd be absolutely fine with that. And then from there, we'll be going to the race. MGUK is fine, because that's now a new one. MTU8 I'm slightly concerned about, but it'll be okay for now. Energy store's fine. Turbocharger's on 44, so maybe for Canada I'll throw a new one in, because that's obviously a power track, and then control electronics should be fine for the rest of the entire season. And then gearbox 58 or 60. I definitely need a new gearbox there, really. So we could spend some money here. I have enough resources to redo that, and that will be done before Canada as well. We could take a massive jump before Canada. I physically can't upgrade anything now other than my MGUK, which is a 45% discount, so we might as well. And I now don't have enough for the ICE, but we'll probably do the ICE next time out as well. Quali time then. We should be very, very quick in Canada, comparatively anyway, to where we are here. But with the quali pace program in practice, it said P11. Let's see if there's any truth in that. Okay, half a second up on Ocon through the first 2 sectors, although the back end is complaining a little bit now at the end of the lap. I'm running out of ERS as well, actually. A few marbles on the front left, so we'll have to be careful around these final couple of corners. But we're all right. And across the line in a 112.9. We did a 113.1 in the practice program. So we're faster in actual qualifying than we were in the practice program. A 112.9. Is that going to be fast enough to get me through? I think it will be. I don't think I'm going to need to go again. I've got about half a second at least in hand, really, to Alex Albon. Nearly, 3/4 of a second to Daniel Ricciardo. I am not going to go out for a second run. We're going to try and save some tyres here. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be us through. I'm dropping down to 12th, but I've still got half a second in hand. My teammate's gone faster than me. K-Mig did a 1:12.9 as well. But we're going to be comfortably through to Q2 with just the one run. Valtteri P10, me P12. Alfa Romeo might, obviously it's weather dependent again, might be in for a good weekend. It's a bit of 1:12.8 to make it into P11. Can we make it any further than P11? 1:12.5. Is it P11 or is it Q3? It's Q3 with a P9 in Q2. Again, quali pace in this Alpha seems to be there, but race pace isn't. And tyre wear for me around Spain is high, so I'm not anticipating a points finish in the race. Valtteri only P14, but it's a poor lap from him. He did a 12.8 in Q1, but that would have really have only gotten him P12. Oh, Lewis Hamilton out in P11 with a 12.828. Lewis does not improve. And where's the other Mercedes? Oh, George must be P1 then. So where's the other Mercedes? I saw Checo up there. Georgia with an 11.7 is very, very fast. Okay, well, game on then. We're into Q3, not for the first time in our career, but expecting to be P9 or 10, to be honest. Which, to be fair, absolutely stellar, so we'll take it. Right, I'm going to try and be disciplined and not look at the time at all. It's in the top left. I'm just going to concentrate on doing my lap and try and get the lap done as best I can. I'm going to look at nothing but the track. I don't know as I've ever been able to do that. I'm going to look at nothing but the track. Paying attention, don't care who just went fastest. Concentrating on my own lap. Slightly wide around 9. Pick your braking point. I had to get out of the throttle a little bit there because of traction. And there. Really gave way on me a couple of times around those two. I'm slightly wide in there as well. As we cross the line, it is a 1:12.3, which is definitely my fastest lap of the weekend, and still P9. But P9 is still a very good starting position, although we do have a very fast Lewis Hamilton behind us, directly on the grid in P11, unless others take penalties. So P9 to start in the rain as well is decent. They were in the low 11s. Fernando Alonso is taking a penalty. Alonso with a 5-place grid penalty, so we will start P8. Max, Oscar, Lando, Sergio, then Sainz, Russell, Leclerc. 1:12.384, and I was nearly faster than Fernando Alonso, but he's got a 5-place grid penalty anyway, so it doesn't matter. 11.9 from Charles Leclerc, though. Wasn't getting anywhere near that. That's for sure, even without the little bit of wheel spin around 11 and 12. So we'll take it. P8 is going to be, I think, perhaps our best starting position of the season so far. I might be wrong. I might be right. You guys probably know more so than me. But still, it's one of, if not the best, starting position of the year. Tyre wear is high, but with rain starting, and then we could probably go medium to the end if the rain doesn't last too long. We might have to go medium hard, but or medium soft. We'll play it by ear. We'll play it by ear. To the race.
And we welcome the removal of the chicane in the final sector.
We do welcome the removal of the chicane. We don't really need to look at the starting grid because we know what the starting grid is because we were involved all the way to the very end of the session. Intrigued to see if there's anyone else behind taking more penalties though, because that might give us more of a chance of setting a PB finish here. So far, our PB is P13 at Imola, I think. I'm starting P8. Hamilton moves forward to 10th. Magnussen up to 12th, as Alonso should be 13th and is. Valtteri P14. Doesn't appear that anyone else is actually taking a penalty, so we... I don't know. He's raining very hard, as you can see, so it's going to be a really difficult start to the race. We are on Inters, though. We are on Inters. I don't anticipate us changing from Inters until much later in the Grand Prix. Can I put dry tyres on? I can't. There's no way for me to change to dry tyres. So what I'd like to do is see what intermediate medium would do, or intermedium soft, or intermedium hard, but I can't do that, so I won't. It reckons bang on 66 laps for fuel. With the fact that we're not that bad on fuel and it's raining to begin with, I'll stick with that. I'm going to trust my... And to be fair, that's as much fuel as I can put in anyway, 110 kilos. So I don't have much choice. I can't overfuel. Do I underfuel a little bit? Not sure, actually. We'll play it by ear and see if we maybe can consider underfueling moving forward. But the minute, I'm just putting my faith in the Alfa Romeo boys that they know what they're doing. So we'll start on Inters, and then the hards probably aren't that fast. So it's probably going to be medium, medium, soft, especially considering my tyre wear. But we'll wait and see. Safety cars can change things. 0.5 will do. 0.5 will do. Please don't overheat. Dear intermediate tyres. I'm running quite a lot of front wing though, so slightly apprehensive. It's a very tight grid here as well, isn't it? So we'll see how this goes. Oh, I have to wait forever for the lights. My God. Not a bad start, but as we said, tight grid, and very nearly got squeezed there between George and Charles. Got a bit of space in front of me to brake into though, so not worried about any damage into turn 1. Charles will have the inside line for turn 3, so fully expecting him to just sweep through. And George is probably going to go through as well, as I went wide there. He's also very interested, Lewis Hamilton as well, so I'm going to go defensive on him. Thankfully just missed the back of George Russell there, otherwise that could have been dangerous. Lewis already up into P9. Past K-Mag. And trying... Actually, past Gasly. Gasly was the one that was behind me. Gasly's dropped horribly. Now, I am more worried at the minute about tyre temps than anything else at this particular moment in time.
That's a decent start. Good job.
So far, so good. Have to do a lot of concentrating here in the wet weather, though, that's for sure. Some of these turns can be quite precarious in just the dry, let alone in the wet. Don't mind Lewis taking me, though. That's fine. It's not like we were really racing Lewis anyway. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Staying ahead of Magnussen and Gasly would be ideal, though, if we can. Tyres are on the warmer side now.
I've got some information on Alonso.
Okay.
Seem to have an issue.
Well, Fernando took a penalty anyway. Not sure what for, but a 5-place grid penalty. And now has an issue with his car as well, which is not going to be great for him. Lovely for me, though, because hopefully it starts to become a bit of a moving roadblock for those behind. And they can't get past him. Tyre's okay at the moment, but it was about lap 4 or 5, I think, when we started overheating in Monaco, so we won't consider ourselves free of that concern just yet. 91, 92 is okay. It's when you get to 94, 95 that you then start to really worry. It's just the one tyre.
Showing a clear patch on its way. There's about 10 more minutes of this rain.
10 more minutes of rain. I didn't see what the temperature was actually to see whether it's maybe going to dry up quickly or whether the rain is going to end, but the track will still be damp for a little while because it's not warm enough to get rid of the water. We'll wait to see. Like I say, gonna drive offline to try and keep that front left cooler. At the minute, it's the only tyre I'm concerned about, but it is a concern. Max Verstappen has just pieced out in front, and then they kind of... Well, the teammates are all 2x2, but Checo just isn't at the same level as Max, is he? The fact that I'm not holding up everyone here says that when it gets to dry weather conditions, we might be more competitive than we thought we might be. As long as the rears don't overheat, I can at least get out of corners fast, and my acceleration isn't affected. But I am dead around turns though. I'm to use a lot of battery here to try and keep up. The rain's definitely easing off, isn't it? It's still falling, but it's nowhere near as heavy as it was. The real issue is when the rain stops, the water dries up, but it's still not dry running. That's when we're really going to be in trouble. I think the AI will probably go medium hard or hard medium and take them to the end. That's my expectation. So the dry parts of the track are going to start getting bigger, and the wet areas are going to start getting harder to cool my tyres down through. Moving my brake bias 2% rearwards has made a bit of a difference by a couple of degrees around this part of the track, but not massive. When we get to that final section, my tyres are very warm at the front. At the rear, it's not been an issue, so thankfully on the way through corners, despite the lack of front grip, I can still power through with downforce at the back. But as it dries out further and further, my tyres will get warmer and warmer again. You can see that train behind me now, as the weather gets drier and drier, is closing up again. We were only holding up about 3 cars. Now I fear that we're kind of the bottleneck for the majority of the rest of the field right now. So for the next few laps, we're going to be the slowest car on track, or one of the slowest cars on track. No, there's still a gap, look, back from the Aston Martins to Valtteri. We're still only holding up, we're still only denying ultimate race pace from about 3 or 4 different cars, not the rest of the entire field. So when we get onto dry tyres, at this moment in time, provided they last well enough and they don't overheat too, I don't want to jinx myself, we might be on for a PB. Points? Don't think so, but a PB maybe. Those in front have nearly a pit stop now. Hamilton's actually made his way through. Hamilton's up to P6, which I hadn't noticed. Started P10, well, qualified P11, started P10, and now running P6. Hamilton's on that comeback tour. Here comes Kev. Trying to keep him behind, having to do some defending now. Previously, just my battery was enough down the straight. Now, I might have to actually tactically drive defensively and start getting my elbows out. As soon as you give me a sniff of a medium, though, I'm on it. And Kevin's going to go. Kevin's going to go.
Pit window and you're going to be on mediums.
Trying to use my battery as best I can. So he's got a bit of front wing damage, I noticed there on Kev. His front right end plate is a little bit holy. Whether he's run into the back of me, I don't think he has. I've not felt anything. Whether he had a little bit of a coming together with someone earlier on. Alonso is now through past Gasly behind. So Fernando's starting to recover after an earlier issue. And that 5-place grid penalty. Concentrate, Ches. Tyres are really worn as well now.
The track's drying, but it's going to take a while to clear the standing water offline. Don't start thinking about slicks just yet.
Oh, I have been thinking about slicks for about 10 laps, mate. I'm dreaming. I've been dreaming about slicks for a long time. Now, my pit window is about to open for another set of inters. And we all know what the AI are like when it comes to interchangeable conditions and maybe throwing in an unnecessary extra stop. If some are on the same pit strategy as me based off a fully wet race, we might see some pit soon for a new set of inters, like 2 or 3 laps before we switch to dries. I hope it doesn't happen, but it might. Just so you're fully aware. The beginning of this Grand Prix has not really had much action for the YouTube video, but at the minute, not really that bothered about that. I'm running in the points. Although Fernando Alonso is about to have a very big say in that, as is K-Mag, who's getting increasingly interested. Fernando Alonso is past K-Mag now, as Kevin made a move on me, or tried to make a move on me. I just kind of ran him out of road. Right, keeping Fernando Alonso behind is something entirely different. I'm going to shut up and drive, please, if you don't mind. Some are in, but are they going to another set of inters? That's what I'm thinking might be the case. With the previous pit strategy, wants me to pit for another set of inters here.
Leclerc is stopping now.
And I think they're doing, I think that's exactly what they're doing. They're doing an extra stop for a set of inters that they, quite frankly, don't need. It's exactly what they've done. They were on the 2-stop, not 1-stop strategy, because it doesn't read as, even though the weather forecast is wet to dry, when you're in the strategy screen, it reads it as a fully wet race. So the AI have a strategy for a fully wet race. So they're pitting for inters when dries will be on within 2 or 3 laps probably now. That's a question for Codemasters, not for me.
Conditions look stable at the moment. No rain currently expected. Inters look like the best tyre for now.
No, Fernando. God, I'm having to fight hard for this. I'm having to use a lot of battery to do it, but it's working thus far. That tactic of save battery for most of the lap, park it on apexes, and then blitz it down the straight bits as fast as possible with as much battery as you can. And it's just helping me stay ahead at the minute. Tyres are going to be close to 40% worn now, if not over. 38 on the front left.
No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions look good. Okay, not sure whether dries or inters are faster. We're right on the crossover.
Oh, by the end of this lap, maybe. If they're not sure, do I take that as a sign to go? We're on lap 26 or 66. I'd like to think we can make 2 sets of medium tyres do 20 laps each. Do I box this lap or next lap for a set of yellow striped medium dry weather tyres? Chat, talk to me. It might be lap 27. We'll see what the front runners do. They're still going. Times are still coming down though. Everyone's saying box, box.
Confirmed.
That's what we'll do.
At the end of this lap.
We are going to be in for dry weather medium tyres at the end of lap 26. It's such a long slog on these overheating mediums. Taking a couple of turns of front wing out during this pit stop to hopefully avoid this thing happening in the dry as well. So here we go. We're the first to make the change. In. Chesnoid pit lane, medium tyres. They need to go 20 laps. And my next set need to go 20 laps.
Let's go. Come on. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like
Right,
a
now
nice stop
now
time.
initiate
We're happy with
DRS.
that one. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
I think it reckons I can take these. Oh, the timing on that. DRS enabled. Chat, you might have done wonders, lads. You might have done absolute wonders. Keep an eye on those gaps. 13.9 to Sargent, 17.9 to Tsunoda. Do they come down or not? I spent so much time driving offline
Now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
that I now need to get back into the habit of driving on the racing line. Mode push indeed. Yeah, front runners are in. They are coming down, not by much, only by a couple of tenths, but they're coming down, so
Okay to use your overtake button.
some are double stacking, some are not.
Valtteri is in for his stop.
Intrigued to see what they go to as well. Mediums or hards. Softs for Gasly. Softs. Okay. They're all going softs.
Okay,
I am
ahead,
surprised.
17.0 seconds.
Now, they want me to take these mediums to the end of the race. I have actually lost out on 2 positions there by going to mediums on the lap that I did. I will now lose more positions because these guys are on the softs. But if they're on the softs now, it means they've definitely got another stop to make. Although Alonso's on the hards. And the softs won't last that long. I'm pretty sure I've got another set of medium tyres I can go
so
to.
the car ahead's come in and fitted the soft tyre.
Battling with K-Mag again. And we're going to hold the position. I've got a new set of everything. So I can react to anything that happens in the remainder of this Grand Prix. DRS is active. I'm within DRS range of Pierre Gasly. And maybe coming out slightly behind a hard-tired Alonso will actually work in our favour. It might not, but it will at least potentially slow up some of the progress of these soft runners. Out DRS range, so that's annoying. K-Mag's going to have me down the straight, there's no questions about that. Others in the pits, so we're up to P11. Running a different strategy to everybody around us. Again, using battery help me defend behind. I need to try and stick with the 2 in front though if I stand any chance of scoring a point today. If they comfortably get me to 46, then I'll go medium, medium. That is a long way away right now. I do have worn MGU8 at the moment, which will mean that we're down on power slightly. They might be going soft, 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 you know. I can ask about strategy.
9.
So they're soft mediuming, I think.
Gasly's ahead of you, and gap to the car in front is 1.6 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 3 laps old. We think they've got 1 more stop. Your last lap time was a 1 minute 18.8. Alright, you're falling back by 1/10 a lap.
Not though. I'm actually gaining on Gasly. Don't know whether he has... He must not have damage, because otherwise they'd have told me about it. So I think his soft tyres might have already had it.
By 2.4 seconds.
Gap to Gasly now under a second. It was at its most 2.2 or 3. Soft tyres already giving up the ghost, it seems. They might go soft, soft, to be honest, if they've got the tyres and they think they'll last. I'm not confident they will. Those behind me are sticking with those, so I wonder whether it's just Gasly that's slow on these softs right now. Provided I can get my traction right, we might be able to take Pierre down this next straight. Trying to save battery.
We're starting to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
Hi Pierre, bye Pierre. P10. We are officially in the points. I imagine Alonso's going to the end on those hards. I will ask what his strategy is. So Fernando's going to the end. My team want me to go to the end. I can tell you I will not. But these medium tyres will absolutely, I think, take me to lap 46. And then we can strap on another set of medium tyres. And go to the end comfortably. Gasly and Magnussen can have a bit of a battle here. It might not actually be that much of a battle. It might just be candy from baby for Kevin, and it looks like it is. Simple overtake. And once again, K-Mag is my rival for my position. Gasly struggling with something. Not sure what. but something. I think these guys behind are going to mediums next, but
that gap ahead, please. 4.8
not sure when they'll do it. Pierre's going to fall further behind here. I don't mind Kevin taking me. I was trying to save battery. Quite happy to sit with him for the moment on those softs. He's taken me once before, and then we were able to comfortably get back past him. But Fernando on those hard tyres is gone. Any chance of P9 is non-existent right now. I need to be quick out of there to ensure I get DRS at this point of the circuit, so I can then stick with him for the rest of the lap and avoid using too much battery. Their softs will be falling off soon. My mediums not long after, because my tyre wear is high here compared to predicted. So they genuinely might be able to go softs to the end, but I'm going to be forced to go medium. But thanks to the rain, we have the tyre sets available to do that. I could switch to hards about lap 40 or 42, but I don't think that's the call. There's no way I get soft tyres any more than 10 laps at any sort of pace before they drop off. Stroll has taken Ricciardo behind and has fallen out of DRS range. So if K-Mag and I can extend now, we can help make ourselves a little bit safer with the gaps behind. So what I might do, even though I'm probably going to have the chance to, I'm going to purposefully not overtake K-Mag here. I just want to try and extend the gap to those behind, so I'm going to let him not go, try and make sure he doesn't go defensive. We just want to extend the gap behind. I'm going to work with Kevin Magnussen here to ensure that it's only the two of us that are fighting for a point and not 3, 4 or 5. Lance is hanging on to the 1.5 second mark, but Daniel's falling further back and they're all just DRSing off Lance now. I need to make this clean and not lose any time, and we haven't really lost any time there. Gap to Stroll came down by 1/10.5. I need Kevin to stay above a second ahead of Lance, because otherwise Lance will get drawn back into us, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to try and drag Kevin away. He says. He loses all rear grip. That'll be Kevin past me again. Although he got out of shape there. Like let's brought Lance Stroll back in. Oh man, that one mistake is all it took to throw everything into chaos again. Russell and Leclerc still battling around turn 1. That's how far behind we are right now. Imagine how Fernando Alonso feels. He is well and truly lost on his own all the way up there. K-Mag's actually going to go for it here. Going to let him go through, not fight it, to try and lose as little time as possible and stay in DRS and just take the position back down the straight. He's really struggling to put the power down. Again, clean overtake. Says as K-Mag drives into me. Wonder how many of the front runners have gone to the hard. If Russell's one of the only to go onto the hards, he might be in for a very good result today. If he's able to maintain pace. Lando and George are the only ones on hards outside of Fernando Alonso, obviously. Everyone else is on softs. I'm going medium. Those on the hard are going to the end. George could make a few positions when they pit, and if those hards last long enough with enough pace, he might be able to hold them off at the end of the race. These guys behind me are still waiting to stop. I am going to stop this lap. I am going to stop this lap, and I hope that Bottas doesn't. Someone behind has pit, so that's a sign that some of the soft runners are contemplating going in. And me as a medium runner is going to do the same. I'm going to go to mediums again. Everybody but Alonso is effectively at the same part of the circuit now. Fernando is the lone man with half a circuit to himself. Those at the very back are starting to get lapped. We may run the risk of getting lapped, but I don't think so. Yeah, having that 1 lap less might actually work for us. I'm going to box now. Oh, it's the fucking bump.
That looked bad. Are you alright? Let me know you're okay.
Please fix the bump properly. That'd be lovely. Let's try again. There we go. No bump. Or minimal bump. None in behind me either. So those on the soft tyres are still going. There's only the one soft runner that pit. And it was Gasly to go to mediums. I am getting lapped right now. But
okay,
we believe he still has to pit.
Stop. Faster than we were expecting. That was our last stop.
Sargent's getting lapped here as well. I'm going to come out in a nice gap, I think, behind the McLaren. I can race at decent pace, maybe get some DRS, and not have to worry about getting lapped from behind. So if I can get DRS off Lando and Lewis, I'll be in a great position. We're now lapping Logan Sargent as well. No, we're not. This is for position 19 and 18.
Use your overtake button more. It's time to
Logan's gone soft.
Come on.
Unless Logan is still going on those softs and he's just that slow. Which he is. Myself and Pierre are the only ones to pit a second time, although Sergio has also done so now and dropped to 8th. So those that went into Inter have pit another time, and they will do a 3-stop here, whereas the majority of us are going to do a 2. So I need to get past Sargent sharpish, and then try and cling on to the back of Lando and Lewis. And gain as much time as possible. Because those soft runners will be pitting soon, but I'm pretty sure they're going to go soft. If they're taking one set of softs this far, they've got to be going softs again next, surely. I'm going for it on Logan. Not wasting any time, getting the job done.
Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place.
I'm not quite going to be able to be within DRS range of Lando and Lewis yet. My tyres are up to temperature now. So we'll be closing the gap soon, or they'll pit. One of the two. One of the Ferraris in. I think it's Carlos Sainz.
16.2 seconds.
Here comes Gasly. P20 and P19 right behind me fighting hard. Right, Operation Catch the McLaren. Taking Gasly with me here. Valtteri's in. They're starting to pit off those softs, but what are they going to? Gasly went to mediums. Are they going to do the same, or are they going soft? We are catching the McLaren, just not very quickly at the minute. They're going to mediums. We're going to be on the same tyre to the end. I'm going to take those 2 places back again, and we're going to extend by quite a bit over K-Mag and Bottas. And we're taking Gasly with us. So Gasly, whose race was ruined and looked to be over when he was on those softs, now has decent pace mediums on. But he pit earlier than the rest of us, so his tyres will go before mine do. Don't even think about it, Pierre. I'm trying to help you here, mate. Now everyone else from the front crew have pit as well. It's Lando and Lewis that are P1 and P2 right now. And I am going to be within a second of Lando now. I think Lando's on hards. Lando might be going to the end. Lewis, not so, I don't think. There, Lewis is on softs. Lewis is going to pit again. This is Lando's race to lose now. Lewis may even pit this lap. And does. And I'm going to comfortably, even with DRS, overtake Lando.
Your teammate behind is 2.9 seconds.
I'm going to unlap myself and try and pull away. Lando is going to be the hunted now. They're all coming after you, Lando, mate. Including Pierre Gasly in P14 right now. Concentrate, Ches, come on.
Blue flag,
No, not blue flag, blue flag. I'm going to get away. Need to extend that gap before I get a penalty. Here we go. Gap extended, no longer under threat of the blue flags. We've unlapped ourselves. Those else Those others in front of us are in the pits. This is our opportunity to move into the points again. They've gone to hards as well. Ladies and gentlemen, P10. Gasly unlaps himself. It's now, I think, a straight race between myself and Pierre for one World Championship point today. Although K-Mag may well unlap himself as well and have a go at it. There might be more. My teammates back there as well. It's me, Gasly, Magnussen, Bottas for a World Championship point. A four-way fight for P1. But there's another Haas, Nico Hulkenberg, retiring from the Grand Prix back there. But it's not going to cause a safety car or anything. Did he get damaged or did he just, quite simply, have his car give up? Let's have a look. Where is the Haas? His car gave up. Yeah. Just a mechanical fault of some description. He's out. No safety car. We are on for a point. Not really working, actually. It's just hovering at 1.4. Kevin has got some pace. He's already pulled a second over Gasly. It's working to drop Pierre. It's not working to drop K-Mag. And Bottas is past Pierre now. I'm running P12. K-Mag is going to be an issue. I'm actually going to probably save battery a little bit around most of the lap and only use it down the main straight. They're all fighting in the minute. Behind K-Mag, Gasly and co. They're stuck. They're not fast enough to pull away from Lando. So as soon as they get blue flags, they're letting him through again. It's just a two-horse race. That's not necessarily a bug, but it's not also what would happen in real life. Lando's race lead is going to disappear. 27.5 seconds. Kevin is coming. I'm going to be under serious threat for the rest of this Grand Prix and probably will finish P11. I don't know as I'm going to have the pace and tyre life to keep K-Mag at bay for the rest of this Grand Prix. Or, if he gets past me, to get him back again. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 5.1 seconds. A late safety car would maybe swing it in my favour if I could dip in for a cheap set of softs. I think Gasly has broken away. Gasly's broken away from Lando. Kevin's going to get me. I don't know as I've got much to defend myself with here. Not really gaining battery back the same way we did in the rain. I'm in trouble. Oh, I'm so scared of finishing P11 now. What would be lovely is if one of the front 9 retire. That would make my life a hell of a lot easier and more comfortable. I'm going to make the move on 58, I think. 58 or 59. I'm just trying to save a bit of battery. You're right, a Red Bull is coming up behind me. Now, Red Bull is may well bring Pierre Gasly with him. I think he is bringing Pierre Gasly with him. Okay, no, he's dropped Pierre. He's dropped Pierre. We need to get to the end of the race on these tyres. Right, stick with him for this lap. Then I'm going to try and overtake him. Because we're about to get lapped. And we're only going to go to lap 65, so it's one less lap I have to try and hold Kevin at bay for. Just need to have a really strong lap 59. I didn't have a strong lap 59. Shit. My tyre's on the cusp, that's why. I should have taken him a lap earlier. Come get me. Try to lose as little time as possible.
Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 2.2 seconds. Caution, caution.
Oh, God.
Okay, clear.
I could have had him. Brought him back within reach at least. Oh, come on! No, I've got a point right there. That's 2 races in a row. No
Blue flag.
way. With 3 laps to go and a point right potentially in front of me. I will get this point. But how is my luck? Retire from session 3 laps from the end. 98% of the race done. Just as the 90% of the race was done in the last one. Back-to-back retirements. When I'm in P11, I feel like George Russell at Williams. I really genuinely do. Unbelievable, Jeff. Max gets the win. Lando doesn't manage to hold on even for a podium with that 1 stop.
Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance.
Oh man, Kevin got the P10.
Let's focus on the driver of the day.
Pierre got the P11. Valtteri dropped to P15 in the end. Oh, I finished P19. I am classified is the term, isn't it? I am classified in P19. Oh,
what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone.
I can't really say much, can I? Without blowing my top. Back-to-back retirements. I was worried about the MGU8. I even mentioned it throughout the course of the latter stages of that Grand Prix. It wasn't even the MGU8 that went. It was the energy store. That 65% worn MGU8 lasted. It was the 30% worn energy store that went. Unbelievable, Jeff. Well, for practice in Canada, we'll whack in the older parts. Devastated. Absolutely devastated. We've got a lot of upgrades that could well pass on the way to Canada. So I'm going to hold off on the ICE here to see what resource points I have. I can't believe it. 2 races in a row, a point stolen from us potentially. Fernando Alonso is also retiring at the end of the season. And most of these things should pass straight away because they're redos of things that failed the first time round.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process.
We've got an event,
We'll have them with us
charity, interview, social media. Team is looking to grow our brand, and what would like my input? There are a few options on the table. Which of it would be most appropriate? Social media probably is powerful.
You handled it well. Thanks.
More so than a charity event or an interview. Everything passed. Everything passed. And we have flown, as we anticipated we would, up the rankings. We're above Williams, Alpine, Haas, and now the 6th fastest team, rather than the 9th fastest team. With resource points to spend, 1,227 of which, that's unavailable. I can't afford the weight reduction, but weight reduction would be huge. ERS is going to be important. ERS is a massive upgrade and very, very important to the way that I drive, so I will do ERS. We will... Oh, nice supplier upgrade as well. Do I do the ICE? I'm tempted. I can't afford the ICE anyway. So the next upgrade I do will be front nose cone structure weight reduction. That's what will be next for me. 6th fastest team on paper in Canada with new parts in. Oh, but man, I could be on 2 points. Dare I say I should be on 2 points. I'm going to go and get some more driver acclaim and then let's see what the situation is in Canada weather-wise. I'm absolutely heartbroken for the second race in a row. So as we head to the race weekend, what is the weather going to be like in Canada? It's the first time we've taken a big jump forward in terms of the capabilities of the car. So if we were... Oh, God. Mixed conditions for race day again. Rain in the middle of the Grand Prix. Not much of it, but rain in the middle of the Grand Prix. So a dry, wet, dry Canadian Grand Prix. Unbelievable. There's your... Everything failed, everything failed, everything failed. It all passed! We're still quite a ways behind Aston Martin. But if we were challenging for points in Monaco and Spain when we were 9th fastest, then hopefully we will be challenging for points now for sure. 3 mechanical failures in the opening 7 Grand Prix is pretty diabolical, really, isn't it? It's pretty disgusting from Alfa Romeo. DNF Bahrain, DNF Monaco, DNF Spain. 3 mechanical failures in the first 8 Grand Prix. I should be on 2 points. I should be with K-Mag. I should be above K-Mag because he only got the 1 point because I was going to try and take it off him. Oh, so I'm still 19th in the standings. I will get points in Canada, I promise you that. I'm not settling for anything else than points in Canada. That's all for this YouTube video. Leave me a sympathy like, leave me a sympathy subscription, leave me a sympathy follow on Twitch, and hopefully I can earn a point in Canada. Oh, tears. I'll see you next time.